Hello. Are you ready for another story with NanNan? This book is one of the Just So stories. Original stories by Rudyard Kipling. And he wrote lots of stories for his own children. And this one is called How the Camel Got His Hump. I wonder how the camel got his hump. Let's see if we can find out. In the beginning of years, when the world was new, there was a camel. The camel did not want to work for the man like the other animals, so he lived in the middle of the howling desert. He ate sticks and prickles and was most idle. Idle means lazy. When anybody spoke to him, he said, "Hump." Just hump and no more. There he is. There's the camel. And he's eating sticks and prickles. But he doesn't want to do anything. He just says, hump. On Monday, the horse went to see the camel. The horse had a saddle on his back and a bit in his mouth. He said, "Camel, come out and trot like the rest of us." "Humph," said the camel, and the horse went away and told the man. There's the horse with his saddle and the bit in his mouth. That keeps his reins there, look. But the camel just went, humph. On Tuesday, the dog went to see the camel. The dog had a stick in his mouth. He said, "Camel, come and fetch like the rest of us." "Humph," said the camel, and the dog went away and told the man. There's the dog with a stick in his mouth. But the camel just went, humph. On Wednesday, the ox went to see the camel. The ox had a yoke on his neck. He said, "Camel, come and plough like the rest of us." "Humph," said the camel, and the ox went away and told the man. There's the ox, and there's the yoke around his neck. And there's the camel going, humph. He was lazy, wasn't he? That evening, the man called the horse and the dog and the ox together. He said, "That camel in the howling desert won't work. You three must work double to make up for it." So there's the man. There he is, look. And he's telling the dog and the horse and the ox they had to work even harder to make up for that lazy camel. What do you think of that? I don't think that's very fair, do you? No. That made the horse and the dog and the ox very angry. So they held a powwow on the edge of the desert. A powwow is like a meeting. The idle camel strolled by and laughed at them. He said, "Humph," and walked away again. There they all are, look, having their powwow, the dog and the ox and the horse. And the camel just went, humph. So the three animals went to the genie in charge of all deserts and told him their problem. The horse said, "There's an animal in the middle of the howling desert who is idle and won't work." "That's my camel," said the genie in surprise. "What does he say about it?" "He says, humph," said the ox. And the genie flew away at once. There, they went to see the genie. There's the genie. And there's the animals, the horse and the ox and the dog, telling the genie that all the camel said was, humph. The genie found the camel being idle. "Camel, what's this I hear of you doing no work?" asked the genie. "Humph," said the camel. So the genie began to think a great magic. You've given everyone extra work ever since Monday, all on account of your idleness, the genie went on. Humph, said the camel. So the genie went on thinking a great magic. Wow. There he is, look. He's saying, what do you think you're doing? And here, the camel just said humph again. So the genie is going to think of some magic. I wonder what that magic could be. I shouldn't say that again if I were you, said the genie. You might say it once too often, camel. I want you to work. But the camel only said humph again. Well, look, the genie did warn him. The genie said, oh, don't say it too often. Then he looks like he's smiling. And he just said humph again. No sooner had the camel said humph a third time than his back began puffing up into a great big humph. There, said the genie, that's your very own humph that you've brought upon your very own self by not working. But how can I work with this humph on my back? Cried the camel. You would not work for 3 days. Your new humph lets you work for 3 days without eating, said the genie. And look, there's the great hump growing on the camel's back. And he says, how can I work? But the genie said, you don't have to eat for 3 days. And do you know why that is? Because the camel stores all its extra food and its energy in the hump. So he doesn't need to eat for 3 days, so he can work. So the camel humphed himself, humph and all, and went away from the howling desert. And from that day to this, the camel always has a hump. But we call it a hump, not a humph. We call it a hump, so as not to hurt his feelings. But he's never yet caught up with those 3 days that he missed at the beginning of the world. There he is. And that's what camels do now, don't they? They act as animals to carry goods and carry all sorts of things to help people. And he has never yet learnt how to behave. Oh, so look, there's the man trying to pull the camel, which is laden with all his things, and he's pulling the camel, but the camel isn't coming. So even though he now does help and he now does do jobs for the man, he still has not learnt how to behave properly. So he's a bit obstinate, we'd say. So we have to coax him and move him, because sometimes he just digs his heels in, which is what he's doing in this picture. Look, he's digging his heels in and he just won't move. And the man is pulling him, saying, come on, you have to move. So I think camels are a bit like that, maybe. Perhaps they're badly behaved. Do you know what else camels do, which is badly behaved? Shall I tell you? They spit. Isn't that horrible? So if you ever got too close to a camel, they go, spit. Horrible. And they make you all wet where they spit at you. So that is another thing that shows you that they are badly behaved. That naughty old camel. But at least now we know how he got his hump. And that's the end of that story. That was a bit different, wasn't it? So don't get too close to any camels, because they're badly behaved, they're obstinate, they won't move, and they spit. But that's funny, isn't it? Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. See you later. Bye.